Hello everybody, welcome back to Let's Play Hearthstone 4 Kaiserreich Island. Let's continue on from where we last left off. I got like 5 minutes into recording last video before I realized my microphone apparently just was not, I don't know if it wasn't plugged in or what. I think it's like the wire, the XLR wire I got to replace it or something. I think the cats have chewed through it at some point. Anyways, welcome back. So it is currently almost 1930, okay, well we're going to get an event first. The Origin of the Green. For the anniversary of the retirement of late historian and Senator Alice Stopford Green, a work's been published which examines an area of her interest, Irish nationalism among Protestants and the Anglo-Irish. Given her own background, the subject matter came to no surprise. The book argues that, irrefutably, that since 1798, the Anglo-Irish have played a crucial role in the development of Irish nationalism and republicanism. Anglo-Irish and Protestants never made up more than 15% of the population, and while they would have been overwhelmingly loyalist historically, those who took up the nationalist cause made a disproportionate impact on nationalism as a whole. From the founders of Irish republicanism, Theobald Wolfe Tone and Lord Edward Fitzgerald, the movement's leadership has included Protestants, helped by their greater status and education that was afforded to them for centuries. Robert Emmet led his rebellion in 1803, and Charles Stewart Parnell was de facto leader of the nationalism movement in the 1880s. Outside politics, literary greats Oscar Wilde and W.W.I. Yeats are also known for their nationalist ideals. The involvement of Protestants in nationalism, it argues, is key for separating the Catholic identity from the Irish one in the late 1700s, a time when they were entwined. The book goes far as contemporary Ireland, focusing on the fringes of politics, such as the socialist academic Benjamin Farrington and integralism proponent Ernest Blythe, and commenting on how the British Revolution may have influenced their popularity among political groups among this population. For reasonably dry academic texts, the response has been fairly warm, with critics opining that the state's treatment of minorities should be used as a marker of its maturity. Though the Anglo-Irish experience is not quite the same as that of the Ulster Scots, the government is keen to try and promote the message of euphemism to those in the north, even if it falls on deaf ears. Okay, so how is this looking? -16 and -0.25. 0.025 is, I would say, essentially 0. 2.5% stability is significantly better. Now, I don't know how many points this is, because this is 2.5% stability per, I don't know, point, I guess you could say. Then we're at -6 for nationalist, and I guess -10 for the loyalist, if I'm assuming that these are roughly, it's basically 6 to 10, I think. Don't quote me on this. Aside from that, world tension is not over 60%. We cannot join any faction quite yet. We could get 1 civilian factory, but we need 40 political power for that. I would not say no if given the opportunity. And for our volunteers in, they have 10 divisions. Why do they put so many divisions in the papacy? I mean, I'm appreciative of. Wait, can Austria even support 9 divisions? And they even sent a volunteer. They sent volunteers to 2 Sicilies. I don't know why there are 9 Austrian troops here. Maybe I will never know. Will they actually get involved? I mean, it would be nice, for sure. Aside from that, currently still building up our armed forces. We need to start preparing for the idea of an inevitable invasion of England. I don't know where exactly it's going to go. Station you here for now. Again, we do want, because you are the Kingdom of Greece. They are sanctioned by Germany, but again, Kingdom of Greece, I'm 97.486% sure they should join up with the Entente, which is a benefit for us. We'll have you guys just join up with the Red Army here. Fantastic. And you want fighters and close air support. I understand that's what you want, but I also need you to realize that it might just not be a possibility. I might not be able to afford. I just simply might not be able to afford that. Infrastructure, off-map civilian factories plus 0.1, another 0.1 here. When we extend the mills, industry research bonus. What do we have over on our other trees? Basic political power gain, plus 25 political power, 20% true population factor. Actually, for such a small island, you know, we don't have a huge population. We have, yeah, for 4.62. Getting a 20% boost would be very, very nice for us, because that's going to be an extra 1%? Yeah, an extra 1%, which would equal 20,000-ish, give or take. Samhain, the night of the year when the boundaries between the worlds of the dead and the living are at their weakest. The souls of the dead and the Iosai, or fairies, return to our world to be welcomed and appeased. Candles are lit, bonfires soar, prayers are said, and every number of primordial rituals come into practice. The last night of October has been known as Halloween in the English language for many years, but it's in Ireland that many of these traditions originate. The night before the beginning of winter, as the 1st of November is in the Irish calendar, was the end of the harvest season and the start of the darkening of days. Officially, All Saints' Day is the 1st of November and is recognized by the Catholic Church as a holy day of obligation, with all Catholics expected to attend Mass, and with All Souls' Day the day after. But this is only the Church taking advantage of the more ancient, arcane, and local pre-Christian beliefs of the population. Ghoulish faces are carved into turnips, and candles fitted and lit inside of them and to give them an otherworldly aura. People roam the countryside between distant homesteads, clad in imitation of the very beings also said to be present that night, themselves expecting to be placated with food and drink in exchange for a song or verse. The dead are remembered, and a toast are held in their honor. Similar customs exist elsewhere, but in particular, the Gaelic traditions have taken root in the United States, following the mass exodus that has occurred over the last century. There they have taken up many of their own forms, which themselves have traveled back to Ireland via returning immigrants. Celebration this year themselves have taken an even more macré turn, with tensions arising around the world, and with the United States, the home of many Irish people and the land of opportunity is up in flames. Some new traditions have come back to Ireland with previous returning immigrants and new refugees. But war would not be one that would be as welcome. Okay, -5 political power. Thank you, Halloween, for making our lives just a little bit worse. I don't know if I can really do too much in Italy. I'm looking at the Italian front. I think it's really just like a hold situation. 8th Division. Can I actually send you... don't disband. Can I send you to Thessalonica? I don't know if you can travel by sea. Like, we do have some transports, but again, because these are volunteer forces, I don't think they can go by, yeah, they can't go over, water, unfortunately. So they're kind of just stuck here. I don't think they're actually going to be able to get too much done themselves, unfortunately. We're still holding Rome. I mean, this line, I think, is not going to budge. We will try to assist this front where we can. I mean, I think we do outnumber them. But, of course, they're going to be getting support from France. They're getting support from the British. And is this a mountain or a hills tile? It's a hills tile. So it's not easy to break either. So I would not be surprised if this ends up basically just being two stalemates back to back. Okay, so what do we have? One military factory, one civilian, and one military. Definitely want to go for the one military factory first. A lot of troops here. I mean, CNT is actually going to push back a fairly decent amount. So I want to send volunteers back to Spain. And if I do, who would I send them to? 1440. I guess we actually send volunteers maybe back to the Kingdom of Spain? Like, we're kind of flip-flopping repeatedly on who we're actually supporting in this war. But again, as long as CNT loses, that's really all I care about. Because having France essentially having to fight a two-front war does weaken them. Even if Spain is basically going to be a pushover no matter what, still having that second front is important to our kind of overall strategic plans. And you know what? We probably should prepare ourselves. I mean, this actually seems pretty good. Yeah, let's finish you off. So that's going to give us 0.5 political power gain, 20% population. 20% recruit population factor, negative 10% consumer goods, more factories in the state, more construction speed, 15% factory output, 15% efficiency cap. This is incredible. Get that all done immediately. And we're going to be still buying up our rifles from Danubia. Is there anything we're really missing? A handful of planes and a handful of rifles as well. Nothing surprising. Because we're at 17 out of 22. This will get us up to... This actually will get us up to 22. So I think we just want to get these guys deployed. When they're deployed, we won't stop making units. But, actually, let's just take it back down to Infinity again. we're not going to deploy them. We're just going to have them kind of sitting in the back burner, just in case we ever do need them, or if we get our way up to, you know, war economy, we can deploy them when needed. Is there anything I can do with you? Defensive doctrine, organization. Give me some recovery rate. Give me some charismatic. I'm not going to take a second option quite yet. And now, as soon as I send volunteers back here, you've already lost Madrid. Good work, team. Good work. See if you can maybe get somewhere over here. The star turns red. Theatre in Ireland has long served as a proud cultural touchstone for the nation, and especially in recent years, as a form of escapism from the troublesome situation of the world. Political violence has unfortunately been a major part of the nation's history, and last night at the Abbey Theatre, these two worlds collided after riots broke out as a debut of a newly overtly political play known as The Star Turns Red. The playwright behind the production, Sean O'Casey, has always been unapologetically open about his socialist beliefs, and his recent play is no different. One of O'Casey's previous plays, The Plough and the Stars, has often been interpreted as a criticism of overvaluing Irish nationalism at the expense of the working class, leading initially to calls for it to be censored, and ultimately, a riot broke out at the performance over a perceived insult to Irish identity. Likewise, The Star Turns Red has been interpreted by some as an attack against the fundamentals of Irish identity, the Catholic Church, and modern Irish politics. The protagonist of the play, Red Jim, who is very clearly inspired by Irish socialist leader Jim Larkin, leads his union into an eventual takeover of his country, while battling the Catholic Church-backed saffron shirts, interpreted as a parallel to O'Duffy's blue shirts. Although police are still compiling a full picture of the events of last night, it appears that several members of the blue shirts were in attendance, resulting in a brawl breaking out, which quickly escalated into a riot. Like with O'Casey's last play, to cause this level of unrest, there are calls for it to be banned to keep the peace. With those aligned with O'Duffy going as far as to call for O'Casey's arrest for producing a blasphemous piece of syndicalist propaganda. While there is little reason to escalate the matters this far, banning performances of the play may practice from further incidents and the spread of syndicalist views. This degree of government censorship may, however, be seen by the public as a move towards further authoritarianism, and it maybe makes sense to approach the situation more carefully by only having a few ministers officially condemn the play instead. So we will we'll be careful for now. Give me the 10 political power. I'm not too worried about the syndicalist growth. Unless I'm mistaken, I don't believe we can even go syndicalist at this point. I think that time has passed because Britain was not able to get their kind of claws into us. So we should, I think at the very least, be fine. I'm going to move you here. I just want to... No, not there. Not there. I understand. Please stop. I want you here instead with these 13 divisions from the Papal State. I don't know really what they're planning. We can take Granada. That is going to secure us a supply hub. Should force the French, who else we got here? The Mexicans to kind of pull back a little bit as well. Okay, that is the war in the Ottoman Empire breaking out. Irish harps upon the willows. While to most in Ireland, the outbreak of war in the Middle East is simply an interesting news story regarding a foreign land, quickly forgotten about by most once it drops out of the headlines. To many of our Jewish citizens, the outcome of this war is paramount to the future of their ancestral homeland. Ever since the establishment of the Modifier of Jerusalem, many European Jews have chosen to immigrate to the region, with even Ireland's former chief rabbi Isaac Herzog having immigrated to become the chief rabbi of the Ashkenazi. The situation as this is created in Jerusalem has been rocky to say the least, and opposition to the mass migration among the Arabs has been one of the largest sparks that lit the proverbial powder keg of war. Fearing that what may happen to the Jewish population and our hopes for a free Zion if the Arabs' revolt succeeds, Jewish TD Robert Briscoe has proposed the government to provide military support for the Ottomans in their fight against the Cairo Pact. Being an important veteran of the War of Independence, having played a crucial war in the German arms deal, and smuggling, Briscoe's proposal holds a lot more weight compared to that of most. Robert Briscoe obviously has no love for the Ottomans, especially the rumors of him helping to fund the Irgun against them are true. Pragmatism often leads to strange bedfellows, and there are many of those in Palestine who see this as the only path forward for the Zionist cause. The opposing idea of Briscoe's proposal has been begun to be floated, being that of Ireland should send support to the Cairo Pact instead, as part of the shared struggle of foreign imperialist rule, regardless of any theorized events that may have happened after the Arab victory. There also having to be an option to simply stay neutral. After all, why should Irish soldiers be sent to die for either side, led by a foreign monarch? Ultimately, a decision has to be made, and it's up to O'Brien to give the final say. Well, I probably will just, not send anybody. I don't see a real... what do we get if the Cairo Pact wins? They invade the French Republic. That doesn't help me, right? How does that benefit us? It doesn't. if we side with the Ottomans, they could theoretically join the Reichspakt. I know they also can theoretically join the Entente as well, which put some pressure on Russia. That's, again, if the Ottomans, A, win, and B, decide to actually join our side and not just stay neutral or anything else like that. Is there anything else we get from this? No, it's just an attack bonus if you want to side. That's free stability and political power right there, my friends. I would not be sending any Irish troops to go into that battle for no reason. Does that make any sense to me? Okay, more people are joining the war against the Ottomans. Syria's declared a war on the Ottoman Empire as well. It just doesn't seem... Yeah, it has nothing to do with us, as far as I'm concerned. Okay, let's get some more civilian factories here. Did you guys take back Madrid? You did. Fantastic. So I want to, I'm going to hit the send air forces, because at least I think this will allow us to see... Okay, they have some aircraft in Eastern Iberia. Southern Iberia, though, seems like it's still pretty secure. Thing is, they have this port. If they didn't have this port, a lot of these troops would have even less supplies than they do now. Okay, I think we want to start building ourselves... but we only have interwar aircraft. So we're not going to build planes quite yet. But I also don't have good tanks either. I don't really have a lot of anything. I guess we can build like a handful of trains. Just for the time being. We can always switch off of this afterwards. We can have some... We can either get some trucks... Not trucks. Some tanks that are good... Or we get some aircraft that are okay. That's kind of my thought process at the moment. Constitution prevails. Hey! Excellent. Wait, has this always been here? You require the gateway to the Atlantic to be finished. Okay, well, let's do this. We will maintain our lovely republic. What are their numbers like, by the way? Not great, but we have decent defense. So I don't know if we're actually going to get pushed out of this or not. My gut instinct is that we'll be fine to hold on for it for at least a little while longer. I think this is going to be like the weak point, would be to try to push here. It's a plains province. Push your way here, get your way to Larissa. We'll help you out a little bit, but like I think most of our troops are not going to be able to do that much. Right? It's really just a sit back, defend where you can. I want you out of here. Yeah, stop attacking this division. Give you a little bit of support here. We have some more Spanish, some Ukrainian troops, some Danubian troops over here as well. We'd love to see it. Syria has already collapsed. Iran has joined the war now as well, which is A-okay by me. And I want to be pushing away to this port. I really do not want CNT to have any meaningful way to do anything. Okay, we're getting you done. I would love... Well, we need to get the 36 planes to even get the 1940 planes. So we'll work our way towards that goal. Canada's also entered the war. They have joined the war in the Pacific States. Again, I really just care to kill the CSA. That's really my number one goal at the moment is, can you just kill the CSA for me? Okay, but I mean, we are pushing CNT back. How is the final push? No. So we're at waning versus high versus high. So our side is the most depressed, to say the least. Sailing to Byzantium. Ireland is in mourning today as it learns of the death of William Butler Yeats, a giant of modern Irish culture over the course of several decades. Yeats has helped spearhead the Irish literary revival in literature starting in the 1890s, while founding a band of Irish theatre, the Abbey Theatre, in 1904. Throughout his working life, he has promoted Irish culture and mythology and stressed the Irish identity that was completely separate from a British one. His greatest personal achievement was winning a Nobel Prize in Literature in 1923 for his poetry, coming at a heady time for Yeats, who had just witnessed the birth of an independent Ireland, something he had long supported. In 1922, he was appointed a member of the Senate and spent the next several years experiencing firsthand the politics of a new state. Although during his time as a senator, Yeats was not affiliated with any party, not even Sinn Féin, He was not afraid to make his political views known, and was firm in the Senate in voicing his opinion on culture and educational matters. Yeats offered a unique perspective, as he was not only speak as an artist, but also as someone who was both a Protestant and a nationalist. In the final years of his life, he became an informal supporter of Anton's Nyasunta, drawn down to a firm paternalistic stance of Ian O'Duffy and a mystical nationalism of Gerald O'Conington. Yeats has always graded against the individualism and liberalism, and increasingly influence both upon Sinn Féin greatly displeased them. While AN were greatly pleased to learn of the support from Yeats' caliber, they were disappointed that he was never able to truly utilize his presence outside of Yeats, creating 3 marching songs for the organization. Although Yeats is now gone, his legacy will be a long-lasting, and regardless of his political views, most can acknowledge his sizable contribution to Irish cultural life. But I will say, with that all said and done, this is going to be a good time for us to end this episode. If you enjoyed, thumbs up. Not enjoying, thumbs down. You want to see more, subscribe, and goodbye.